Hi, guys. This is lesson 10.14 and 15. We combined the two just because there's not tons to do, and then we'll be ready to take our unit test tomorrow. So we're going to just get right into it today. We're going to review a couple words that have word endings and blends. So the two words I want to review right now are twisted. I want you to write the word twisted on your board. You see it right here. Twist, and then add the ed ending. Boys and girls, when I see this word, I know it starts with a blend. It ends with a blend. It has the suffix ed. It has a base word. I want you to have all those marks on your word. Now, the next word I want you to write below twisted, I want you to write this word. Read this word to yourself, and as you're writing it, think of what the word is. The word is think, and then we're going to add the ing, thinking. Now, thinking starts with a digraph, and then it has a glued sound, ink, pink, and it has a suffix ing, or glued sound too. It has a base word, and then it has the suffix. So, boys and girls, write thinking on your board, please. And we are going to move on.
Hi, boys and girls. This is Unit 10, Week.
I did not mean to do that, boys and girls. Let me see. How do I get back? There we go. Okay, so let's practice a couple words now on our board that have those blends, the glued sounds, or the word endings. Okay, I want you to write the word sending. I am sending you a letter in the mail. Sending. And I want to see if you can get all the marks. Sending. Sending. This is what you should have there. Send, that's the base word, and then you add ing ending. Boys and girls, this word has a blend at the end. It has the suffix, and it has the base word. Make sure you have that all on your board. Sending. The next word I want you to write is handing. I am handing you the important piece of paper. Handing. Go ahead and write that on your board. Handing. Boys and girls, this is what you should have. Handing has a glued sound of an inside of it. ND is a blend, and it has the suffix and the base word. Make sure you get all those marks, boys and girls. Nice job. Okay, and the last word I want you to do is spending. She is spending a lot of money. Spending. Spending. Go ahead and write that on your board. Spending. Spending. Here's our glued sound, or I'm sorry, our blend at the beginning, blend at the end, our suffix, and our base word. How'd you do, boys and girls? Did you get all those marks? Nice job. Okay, we are going to move on now to our story. And now I know we've read this, so we're going to read it again. It's called The Skunk. I'm going to read it to you one more time, and then we're going to talk about something about the skunk, okay? I want you to picture the movie in your head again because we're going to review who the characters are and the setting and everything. Okay, ready? The kids were camping by the small pond. They each had to do a job that was on a long list. Some of the jobs were fun. 2 kids had to put up the flag, which was the best task of all. Then the kids went for a swim and sat on the grass in the sun. Next, the kids went on the big swings that were down at the end of the camp. At last, the day was over. They went into the tent and slept. The kids sat up one by one. "It stinks," said the kids. "We smell a skunk." The kids ran out of the tent in a rush. What did they see? A skunk was on a stump. Help! The kids were fast. They ran back into the tent and hid. The skunk did not go in, so they rested at last. Open your eyes. Boys and girls, where did you picture? What was the setting of your story? Where did you picture this at? I pictured it at like a place where you would go camping, a campsite. Good. Who did you see in the story? Who were the characters? Did you see a bunch of kids, boys and girls, just running crazy? Yes. And what happened in the beginning of the story? They were having a lot of fun at camp. And then what happened? They did a whole bunch of different things. They swam, they went on the swings, but then they were tired. It was time for bed. And they slept until what? Till they smelled something. And what did they smell? The skunk. So they ran out. And where did they see the skunk? On the, what is a stump? A stump is if you cut down a tree. It's like the bottom of the tree that's connected to the ground. And they ran fast into their tent to get away from the skunk. Good job, boys and girls. Really briefly, I'm going to talk to you in this little video about the difference between that story we just heard and informational texts.
Hi, boys and girls. This is Unit 10, Week 3, Day 5. And today for story time, we are revisiting our unit story, The Skunk. Now, I know you've read The Skunk multiple times by now, and we've discussed it. We even made a storyboard that I created, and if you remember, it had characters from the story, it had our setting, it had main events of the story, and we went through step by step. And this is how, when we made a movie in our minds, it was brought to life. And I had explained that your version in your mind might be completely different than my version, but this was the version I shared with you. So now, this type of story, because it had characters and it had a setting and it did have events, this is what we call a narrative story. Can you say that word? Narrative. And narrative means that the story is make-believe. Now, could this have happened? It could have, but this story was make-believe because it had different characters and it had events that had occurred. It wasn't a factual story that was filled with information. Okay? So when we have a story that's filled with information, we call it an informational text. It's also called nonfiction. A narrative is fiction. So right here, I have a little demonstration. You can see we have a fake illustration of a skunk. This would be a skunk that was in a story that was maybe make-believe. And now over here, I have a real image of a skunk. So if I were reading a story about facts about skunks, then that would be informational. So today I'm going to show you the flip side. I'm going to show you the informational side. And I have a story here. It's from Reading A to Z. And this story is called You Stink. And right away when I look at the cover, I can see a real picture of a skunk. Now,
boys and girls, we have talked a lot about informational texts, but I'm going to let you see just a little bit in the difference between this and the narrative she's talking about.
This is a narrative or informational, but when I look at that picture, oh, they could have been the kids in our story, right? When I go over here, I see a table of contents. Table of contents you most often will see in an informational text, and it has different page numbers where you can find information on different topics. So here I have nobody likes you, what kind of animal, why you stink, skunk home, baby skunks, skunks and people, a glossary and index. And a glossary and index are also different parts
Those
of
are all
a
big
book when
clues
it's
of informational books. So boys and girls, I'm going to just move just ahead just a little bit for you to see one page of this.
Long bushy tail. Your soft black fur has long white stripes. You are a beautiful animal, but nobody wants to be your friend. Why not? You're a skunk and you stink. Anyone who smells you or gets sprayed by you never forgets it. Oh.
Boys and girls, I'm going to stop right there. But do you notice how those are photographs and those are facts about skunks? Not the same as the story that we made in our brain about them at their tent coming out and seeing a skunk. Boys and girls, that's all I have for you today. But your work, you have 2 pages to do inside your little work booklet. You have 10.14. We are continuing our work on the suffixes. Okay? You can look in the word search first for the word to see what it is. It'll help you. Like, for example, this right here, the word is crash. I look right here and I see crashed. That is the word I will circle. That is the word I write on the line. So use both of these to help you solve what the word is. But all these words will need the base word, which is written for you. Oops, wrong way, with a word ending. So you need to do that page. And you also need to do 10.15, which is the same thing. Now, these have ing endings on the words. Okay? Word search right in here. Now, I'm going to make a deal with you. If you only want to do one of the word searches, that is fine. You can do one word search and all the words for both. The most important part is seeing you write the word, mark it up correctly with the word ending of ed or ing. That's the most important to us, your teachers. Okay, you can take a picture of both of those and send it to us, and we will see you later. Bye.